Hi folks, I hope you are all well. Firstly, thank you very much to everyone who has already subscribed to this channel, and thank you to everyone who left a comment on one of my previous videos suggesting ideas of future content for this channel. And following one of those comments, in no particular order, here are all of the optional extras and aftermarket things I've fitted to my bike and why I decided to fit them. So, starting off with what is probably the most obvious thing you guys will notice from where you're sitting, and that's the touring screen. Now, the standard screen did a good job. It kept a lot of the wind off my chest, and it would probably keep a lot of the wind off my head as well if I was a little bit shorter. But I'm just under 6'3", and the standard screen pushed the wind up and straight into my eyes. So I fitted the touring screen, and it does make a big difference. It keeps a lot of the wind and the rain off my chest and my head, which is particularly noticeable at motorway speeds. The second thing I'd like to talk about, and probably the second most obvious thing you guys will notice, are the handguards. Now, I had the handguards fitted just to keep the wind and the rain off my hands and my knuckles. Mine are white, as I have a white bike, but if you've got the black or the grey bike, I believe they come in black. They do a really good job. If I wanted them to protect my hands and the levers when riding off-road, I'm not sure I'd go with these ones. And the reason being is the bar that sits behind the handguard itself, this bar here, is made of plastic. And I'm not quite sure how durable that would be and how strong that would be if it was to take a couple of big hits. But for the purpose I want them for, they are brilliant. The next thing I'd like to talk about are the heated grips, which I've had fitted just to keep my hands that little bit warmer on colder days, a bit like today. Now, these are the genuine Honda ones, and they're brilliant. They're all wired up into the bike, so there's no need for additional control panels or switches or buttons or anything like that. To access them, you press the function button once and it comes up with kind of a volume bar. Up for warmer, down for cooler or off. Press the function button again and again if you've got fog lights, and it will go back to the normal menu. They heat up pretty quick, they're easy to use, you can adjust them on the fly, and they do a great job of keeping your hands that bit warmer. I've just pulled over to show you the next couple of things. Firstly, there's the lower engine guard kit and the upper side pipes. Now, I've had these fitted just to protect the fairing and the engine from any damage if I was to drop the bike or if I was involved in an accident at slower speed. They seem really well built. They've got a real nice finish to them as well, seems quite durable. You need the upper side pipes for fog lights as well, or the genuine fog lights, which I will talk about in a minute. And you need the lower engine guard kit for the skid plate. The skid plate is actually a recent addition to the bike. I came back from a trip away to Scotland, and the underside of the bike and the downpipes was covered in mud and crap, and there was a couple of stone chips from things that have been chucked up from that front tyre. So I fitted the skid plate. You can see how much of a good job it does there at protecting the front end of the bike. It's also really easy to remove as well. There's just 3 bolts on each side to drop that skid plate off to get to your oil filter when you come to do a service, which is a nice thought from Honda. It seems to be really well built. I like how it looks, and I would definitely recommend it if you're doing any off-road. So, coming back to those fog lights. Now, I actually wasn't going to have these fitted, but my brother and my dad tempted me to do so, and I'm really glad they did. I do a lot of commuting on my bike, and that does involve riding in low light conditions, early mornings when it's maybe a bit foggier, and on a night where visibility is a lot lower. And these really help you to be seen when you're on the bike in those conditions. They're really nicely mounted on those upper side pipes. They're all wired into the bike as well, up to that function switch. So if you press the function switch, it will go to the heated grips. If you've got them, press it again, it will go to the fog lights, up for on, down for off. Press that function button again, and it will go back to the normal menu. If you're riding in low light conditions or foggy conditions on a regular basis, I would definitely recommend these. Next we have the radiator guard. To be honest, I mainly had this fitted as I really like the look of it, but it obviously gives the radiator a bit more protection too. I also had a 12 volt power outlet fitted so I can charge my phone or my camera up when I'm out on a ride. So everything I've mentioned so far is a genuine Honda product. However, there's also two more things I've fitted to this bike which are not from Honda. Firstly, there's the Pyramid Fender extender. Now this is an extension to your front mudguard which helps to keep a lot of the mud and crap off the front end of the bike and getting it flicked up towards the radiator and onto those downpipes. More of that in a future video. I also have a top box. Now this is the second top box I've had fitted to this bike. The first one was like a adventure style metal looking box. It was really good, but it just wasn't big enough for putting like my work kit in, my laptop, that kind of stuff. So I've invested in a new one, which is the Givi or GV B45 Plus. It's a lot bigger, a lot more practical for me, but again, I will be talking a lot more about that in a future video. So that's all of the aftermarket things and optional extras I've fitted to my Transalp. I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions, please stick them down in the comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.